If you are thinking about buying or selling real estate in Edmonton, this one number is going to change everything you thought you knew about Edmonton real estate. Hey friends, Leanna Martins, your best Edmonton real estate agent, and it is time for October's market stats, and they are not what everyone is expecting. There is over 5,200 homes sitting right now in the Edmonton market, and new listings are up 26%, and here is the kicker. Detached homes are flying off the market in only 23 days, while apartments are taking nearly 3 times as long. And if you're a high roller looking at properties $2.4 million or more, we need to talk because that segment of the market is moving completely different. So stick around, my friends, because you are about to find out what is really happening past the headlines and know what does it actually mean to you if you are considering buying or selling. And you know, this is the only place you can go to get resale, also new home construction, and sold numbers. Make sure you stick around all the way to the end because I'm going to take you on a sold tour so you can see the cost of the property and look at the value to see if you think it's worth it. All right, let's hop in there. Okay, so let's start with the Edmonton resale stats. We're going to start with the average selling price. So the overall average selling price right now is $420,000, and that includes all 4 segments of the market. So that, of course, is your detached single family. Then we go into your half duplex, which is semi-detached. And then we go into row homes and then condominiums. So the overall average for single family is at $540. So year over year, that's on par. So you can see that prices are definitely, they're cooling, right? And that happens along with increased inventory. And that's exactly what has happened. And if we go into half duplexes, $429. That looks very reasonable, friends. These are definitely akin, like numbers of the past that I can reference over this last year. And then we're in townhomes, and townhomes $296, so basically just under $300,000. So depending on the product that you get. Yep. Year over year, 4.5%. So like first Q1, Q2, that was like 14, 15%. Condos were up an insane amount. They were up in the 20s, 23s, which was nuts. I'd never seen that before. And then we got condos at $200,000 basically. Hey, and if you might be considering buying, selling, or relocating, guess what, friends? I have got you completely covered because I have built academies to make you smart and not sold with support, community, resources, masterclasses, tutorials that's going to take you right from the beginning of not knowing, uncertainty, all the way to the end with complete confidence. So I built it for you because I like to build community. Click the link below. It is free to join. I will see you inside. Let's get back to the video. And year over year, that's up 3%. So you can see that the prices are cooling. So detached homes, basically on par, same price last year. And then everything else is really hovering basically between 3 and 4.5%. Now, what does that mean, and how does that feed into like new listings on the market and where our sales are and what type of market we are currently sitting in? So right now we are up 19%, and I always look at the year over year because month over month it really is seasonal. Year over year it'll give you an idea of, is the market growing, where are we at as a benchmark from this time last year, up or down. So we're up in terms of new listings, right? We've been seeing this over the past 3 to 4 months where it's consistently, you're getting more and more inventory coming into the market. And as that happens, buyers have more choice. And then let's look at the impact on sales. Well, it seems we have almost 20% new listings hitting the market, and year over year we have less buyers. So this is where that supply and demand starts to shift. And we're creeping up. I think we're at 3.1 or 3.2 months of inventory last month. Check it out, creeping up. So this is moving into a balanced market. So 0 to 3 months of inventory is a seller's market. And, past like some say 3 to 6, 4 to 7-ish, you're moving into a balanced market. So if we surpass this, it's going to be a balanced market that we're sitting in. And then that's reflected in your days to sell. So it looks like the overall average is probably sitting around, I'd say 39 to 40, right? Because you get your apartment style condo at 47 days. That's the highest. So actually, sorry, your all residential days to sell is 40. So let's have a look at the new home construction sold map next. So let's have a look at what we got for sale. So we saw 2 for Leduc, if I pull that down. One so little sale. And again, this is new home construction, friends. And we've got no infills that were sold. So this is going to be all solely new home construction. 7 in Stony Plain. Look at that. Numbers are trending up in Stony. Ooh, people were not going out there because it literally is like, it feels like it's part of Spruce Grove. So it's not like it's the experience of it is that you just drive and you don't even realize that you're in Stony Plain. It's just not as populated. It's smaller. But at the end of the day, if you're willing to go to Spruce Grove, now I honestly have learned you might as well go to Stony Plain because everything is so close. Everything's within 10, 15 minutes max. St. Albert, we got 4 sales. Sherwood Park, 10. And then the rest, the bulk of these are in and around Edmonton. So let's have a look at the actual sold prices. So let's see what people are actually paying off the list price. So you can figure out how much bargaining room is there now that we are moving into a balanced market with higher days on market. Are you paying list price or do you have more room for negotiation? All right, everybody. So this is what we've got. We've got 166 new home constructions sold in and around Edmonton and surrounding area. And if you look at the days on market, friends, look at those days creeping up. It's reflecting a new home construction as well. This isn't just resale. And look at this, the sold to list price ratio, 97%. So out of that 166, 112 of those are Edmonton sold. And the average price, $586 for new home construction for Edmonton. Leduc, $588. Typically, I mean, they should be pretty close. St. Albert sometimes is higher, and that's 98%. And that's only 5 in Leduc. Leduc County, lots of times this can be higher because Leduc County could be acreages. So that's 683, 101% over list. Let's look into Spruce Grove. So Spruce Grove, we've got 17. That's pretty high volume, especially for the month of September. So that's at 97% at 539. So this is a really good number to compare. So Edmonton was 588. Leduc was 588 and 586. And then we've got Spruce Grove that's coming in at 539. I mean, I think that that's representational of the savings when you go out of an overall average. So 97% sold to list price ratio. So you can see there's more room for negotiation. If we go into St. Albert, typically, again, like the new home construction in St. Albert, it's not that big. There's one area that is all new home construction and it is estate lots. So they're larger lots at estate builds. So, they're like 6. I mean, they start at 5, but they can go up to, $1.2 million. So that typically increases the average price in St. Albert for new home construction. And they're at 99% sold to list price ratio and 694. Strathcona. So this is Sherwood Park and area, that 98%. And the average price there is 555. So overall, we're basically sitting at 97%. So is there room to negotiate for new home construction? Indeed, there is. Are there caveats to that are specific to situation and circumstance? Indeed, there is. Then you need to speak to, obviously, a licensed professional who's got experience, and they can help you with your particular situation. So let's get in there and choose one of these to take a tour for you to actually view what was paid and what are the actual features of that home, and do you think it's worth it? See you inside. All right, so let's take you guys out to Sherwood Park because I have just found this surprise. This is basically 1,460 square feet. This is a half duplex and brand new. And it's got 3 beds up, unfinished basement. Obviously, it's an end unit. This one has no condo fees. It's got a double detached garage. That's why it's coming in so cheap. And this actually sold like within $5,000. So it was priced at $439, sold at $434,900. So it's roughly 99% of list price for this guy. But this was on the market for like 144 days. So crazy town. That's a very, very, very long time. But the reason I'm showing it to you is because, it looks tight in terms of square feet. Yeah, is that I am like super stoked about the price point, friends. So Sherwood Park's a great community. In terms of new home construction, I really haven't seen anything all that fantastic over this last year. I think that this price point is absolutely awesome. So at $434,900, which is at the end of the day what was paid for it. This is your main floor, open concept, right? You've got your island, you've got your courts, you've got a nice little built-in there at the back. I love that, but it's detached. So if it's attached, it would have been more than this, right? It would have been in the high 4s, closer to 5s. But that's why this, if you don't mind a detached garage, friends, this is a great accessible price point. And I think that they even have room for a tiny little bonus room. They do! Look at that! They've got a tiny little bonus room. So that just makes me excited for young families as a start. Right? You've got, it looks like 1 sink. Fine. At that price, Let's not be picky, friends. It's affordable, it's new, and it's in a great community. There's your second upstairs bath, and they've got tile, nice quality there. And then you do have a detached, like you've got a side door. That's great. Unfinished basement. So I think this is a great deal to consider, friends. If you are curious about this build, this builder, this location, just shoot me an email and I can get you all the deets. All right, so thanks for sticking around for October's latest market stats. As you can see, it's moving into a balanced market. And if you might be considering buying, selling, or relocating, guess what? I have got you covered with the Buyer, Seller, or Relocation Academies, my friends. I put a ton of energy and effort into these to help and support you guys along the way. These are all the questions, all the supports, everything that you need to get you from where am I going to live? Is it a safe neighborhood? Should I buy or sell first? Should I get pre-qualified? How do I do that? And so many other questions. Everything you need to know. It's free. Join in your respective academy below. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next video. Take care, friends.